Hi, welcome back to my channel. Believe it or not, I am about to do Flosstube number 13. Now, I kind of held off on doing this because I have been trying to figure out what I wanted to finish, what I could fully finish, if I could fully finish anything, or if I could complete anything. So I don't have an order in which I'm going to show you these, but I think what we will start with are my 2 frosted pumpkin stitchery patterns that I've worked on. So I just grabbed one. Okay, this, just lost the baggie. This is the Under the Sea map for the clues that will come out every month. So clue number 1, this section here came out March 25th. Clue number 2, this pink, came out April 25th. And then clue 3 is right here, this orange, which came out May 25th. Well, I just started this a few days ago. So I just finished clue number 1. And on Monday, I will do clue number 2. And then the following week, I will do clue number 3. So that by the time we get to clue number 4, which is this and this, that'll be June 24th. And I should be on time. Let's hope. So in order to give you an idea, this is clue number 1. Let me make sure I turn it right. Yeah. Let me just hex this. I want everything all over the place. So this is clue number 1. I'm going to put my hand, no, I need to put something behind it so it's not see-through. Let's try that. There you go. Clue number 1. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. Let me tell you something. I really messed up with this really badly. I was trying to find the middle of the pattern, and when I did, I found it with no problem. But the thing is, I started stitching this one here. So I had to frog quite a bit of this out, put this in, and then go and do that. And even though I did that, somewhere in this one here, I'm off by 1 stitch, but I think we're gonna say it passes. So that is Under the Sea. This is the kind of the preview of it, and like I said, this is the map, okay, which, yes, is the right side up. So I'm really pleased that I got started with that. And then another one that, now, that's from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, and I have 4 of their patterns. I did start, now this is a stitch along from them from maybe 2022, or at some point. In other words, it's all done. So that you can see the whole thing. You're not seeing clues 1, 2, 3, etc. So I fell in love with this, and I did just a little bit, not much. That's all. I did something up here, but I'm not going to take the Q-snap off. But I did get started on that one. Okay. Try to keep things in order. Now, I think it's Crafting Journey in the Crafty Heifer, maybe? They're doing a temperature project. Okay? So there's different ones. There's butterflies. There's books. There's cats. There's blocks. Well, I chose a tree, and so I'm going to try to hold it with one hand. So January, February, March, April, May. So when I was working on April, and I did the first week of May, which is right here, this takes me all the way to May 29th, so I have to do May 30th and 31st, and of course June. So I didn't have any more of the brown stitch, so I started stitching June, but I've got to finish stitching June and then do July through October. And I'm gonna spend the night at my daughter's, so I might take this with me and just work on the brown. So that's my temperature tree progress. Try to do it so you can see the whole thing. I'm quite pleased with it. And I've dealt with some discouragement, so there's been a few times that I felt like I didn't want to continue with it, but I'm going to. All right, so that's that. Then I only did a little bit of this, but I will show it to you. This is a Long Dog Sampler Love of 2 Hearts. This is the pattern, the illustration, or whatever you want to call it. And I only got a little bit more, let's turn it the right way. So I think since my last time showing this, I worked on this area over here or something in here, but not a lot, but it's in the pile of things that I've worked on, but I'm going to get back to that. So there you have that one. That's one of my long dog samplers. I do have two, and I'm happy to show you. Okay, sorry for the wrinkly paper, but this is called Crossword, and it's in blues, but people are doing this in whatever colors that they want. So I chose a palette that I liked, and I've made some good progress. I'm not going to show you the whole progress because I'd have to take it off the Q-snap, but we'll try to move the grime guard. So I have, it's worth it to show you because I'm really pleased with how this is coming out. So we're just going to take a second and show you what I've done. Now, this fabric is huge. I didn't want to cut it because I don't have a serger. So I'll cut it when we get to the end, but there you have it. That's how much I've gotten done. Isn't it worth it to show you? So I've got, what, 3 words done, and the box for that word over there. And if you can see that light green, that's your pattern, your design. So that is called Crossword. Really, really, really happy with this one. And I did, let's put this way. Sorry for that. I did choose a color palette for that one. And I've shown this before on my channel. So I did something that I didn't even know was called a floss drop. I had no idea. All I did was I went to Pinterest and I looked for palettes with green. And I kept looking and I found a palette that matched this. So these colors that I would like. So then I went to 1-2-3 Stitch and I bought this like cream color here, this green, and this variegated floss here. So I found out from my friend Fashawn that choosing my colors like that, and it was what was called a floss drop, and I had no idea that that would be what it was called. So that's that. That's that. Then another one. Now I don't have a picture of this handy. This is a Carolyn Manning one, and this is called Bear Tracks. And this needs something because it's okay. I just needed to put something behind it. So this is called Bear Tracks, and I'm loving it. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I did quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I'm at 56% of this one. And to get to 56%, I finished off this, did the white that's up there, and I did a little bit down here, and that brought me to 56.7%. So I'm happy about that. Now this one I put a lot of work into, almost to the point of too much work because of the frogging I had to do and something else. But first, let's look at it. This is a Leslie Hare summer stitch along from 2021. And I have 4 or 5 of hers. I did another one that I did finish, and I'll show you that in a few minutes. So this week I just did these 3 here. Last month or the month before even, I did those 3. But I didn't do any of the back stitching, and I'll tell you about that in a second. So this week I wanted to see if I could do a section a day. However, my counting is still problematic. So I did a considerable amount of frogging. Way too much frogging. Another thing I did is I didn't do the orange in these, so I had to go back and do that. And then another mistake I had is over here. This is a dark green. Well, I can't remember the number, but let's say it's 960 and 961, which I know those aren't the right numbers. When I put it in Pattern Keeper, I put 961 instead of 960, which, and again, I'm calling the wrong numbers, but I'm trying to make a point. So I stitched this outline of this leaf in blue. Well, it wasn't until I went to put the back stitching in that I knew that didn't work. So I had to frog that and put the right color in there. Then there's another problem with this is, I don't know where the pattern is. I'm not going to look for it. Is the pattern itself for the individual projects and for the frame are different than the final product. So on Leslie Taylor's site, you have kind of three different things. You have a frame that's one way, you've got these butterflies and this flower that's another way, and there's something else that just didn't match up. And so I ended up having to, I wish I knew where it was. Yeah, I found it. So I ended up having to do a lot of calculating to fix it. Like, if you look at these boxes here, you see this pink, but if you do the digital conversion to Pattern Keeper, that's in yellow. So that was problematic. And then, so I had to constantly look at the frame here to make sure that I was putting in the right colors there. Another thing is, the way the frame looks on here with the grid lines for every 10 squares doesn't match up to what comes out. So this is teaching me to be very, very observant, because things just did not match. So I did get all the back stitching done for those 6, and I'm really, really, really happy. I have to say this. I'm glad that there were problems in this pattern, because once I get to my Haides and my Mill Hills and my Mirabilias and things of that nature, Noah Corbett, I will have gained a lot of experience with stitching. So I appreciate the changes that this pattern underwent before I got my hands on it, because it's teaching me to be more observant and to count better and to watch my colors. Like, I was concerned that these 2 flowers were strikingly different. This is lighter, this is darker. And it's because of the way the pattern is in one area is one color, and then it's just weird. But when I looked at the flower, which I think is going to go here, either here or here, the pink is different than either of these. So therefore that works. So like I said, I appreciate the differences, because it's teaching me, it's helping me to learn. So those are all of my ongoing projects, but now I get to show you some finishes. I actually have some finishes. Now this is right here, my first my first fully finished object. And there you have it. This is butterfly. I never have things where they should be. Butterfly something. But this is from the June Caterpillar Club cross stitch box. And I didn't have any problem. Oh, I've got black floss on it. Let's get rid of that. I didn't have any problems with this at all. Not stitching it, not finalizing it, because I put it on the back with felt. This just went across really well, and this was easy. This was a process of 3 days. Wait until my cat leaves. Out. Sorry about that. My husband has a TV on in the other room. This took 3 days, 14 hours, and 47 minutes across 3 days. So I'm really, really excited that this is done. And this is for a gift. So now that I finally took the time to make this Flosstube video, I can actually put it in the mail and give it to my friend. This one here is Home is Where the Cat Is. This is from a Doreen Jones pattern. I have 2 of hers. I have this one and I have Pattern Cats. Pattern Caps will be a new start that I do in mid-June, early July. And when I finished this whole pattern, it was 3:30 in the morning one day, and I just went to bed. I didn't get back to it till 2 or 3 weeks after the fact, and that's when I put in the back stitching. And you can see it outlines the cat, the whiskers, the towels, the laundry basket, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So that is home is where the cat is. Like I said, at Davini Jones. Okay. What else do I want to show you? Oh, I'm kind of sad that this is done, but that's okay because I've got one that's a little bit similar to this. This one here is Lucy Heaton's birdhouses, and I'm a little sad because I'm done. But I do have a Leslie Terre birdhouses or owls, so I do have another one that I'm going to be starting. But I love this one, and this one here, the way I did this, I've got bad cats. That's my other cat. Of course, they each have to make an appearance or try to make an appearance. So with this particular one, this birdhouses one, I did one birdhouse at a time until I was done. So this took about 9 weeks because I did one, waited till it came back into rotation, did another one, waited till it came back into, because I rotate 12 to 15 projects at one time. So when this was in rotation, I would work on it until I completed a birdhouse. And now it is done. Can't wait to figure out how I'm going to frame it and where it's going to go, but I'm excited. Now, this is in the same bag, so we're just going to take a look at it. I don't know if you're new to my channel, this is my second ever finish. This is a Caterpillar Club made to create. I don't know why I'm showing it to you, but why not? My first ever finish. First, when I started stitching the last weekend in October, and this took me 6 days, and this is Positivity Rules by Caterpillar Club. And I'm just showing you this in case you're new to my channel and new to my Flosstubes. Back to what I finished in May. 2 more finishes, and then this video will be done. I am learning, by the way, I'm going to show you this like this really quickly. I am learning to stitch a certain way so that my back looks pretty good, and I'm really impressed with that. But let's turn this the right way. Give me a second to orient this. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is Leslie Terre's Winter Spring Stitch Along from 2021. I loved it, and this is my first Leslie Terre project. The other one that I showed you, the summer one, is my second one, and I have printed and downloaded maybe 2 or 3 more that I bought from her site. So that is this. Now, this one here does need some either French knots or beads in about 4 places. So this isn't quite done, but it's about 98.99% done. It's right there, right on the cusp of being done. The last thing for this video, that's another May finish, is my Autism awareness brain. Okay, let's do this because part of it is on a fold, so I'm just going to like that. There we go. My Autism awareness brain, all done. I love this one. First of all, to tell you about why I did this is a friend, Sandra, was doing an Autism Gnome project for Autism Awareness Month, which was in May. And I chose this because I'm not into gnomes at all. So I went to Etsy and I found this pattern on Etsy, $5 or $6. And the fact that it's puzzle pieces, which is a symbol for autism, one of the recognized symbols, and then the colors. And that's I think this is my first May finish. So for May, I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 finishes for May. 5. I thought I had 4, but I have 5. I've got the cat. I've got the birdhouses. I've got the winter spring. I've got this, and I have the one that I put on here. So I'm surprising myself because I thought I was going to show you 4 finishes. 5 finishes in 1 month. I'm so excited. So that's all that's going to be on this floss tube. I do have some new starts that I've talked about in previous floss tubes that I am pretty much setting myself up for. And I today is only June 3rd, so I would say by June 15th, I will have figured out what my starts will be for the towards the end of this month, and that will carry me on for the next few months. Plus, I'll rotate in those other Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery ones I told you about. I do have another Caterpillar Club stitch along that I haven't touched. I haven't touched my Taylor's Otis Time in weeks, so I've got to work on that. And my Hade. So, and then I think I have three or four ones that will be new starts, and we'll talk about that in a future video. So that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.